transition of power. We're here to help you with anything that you need. The president-elect saying,
"Hey, girlie, get out of the camera range. What are you doing?"
Nice place, but it is a nice place today.
ABC News is going downhill fast. Wow, look at them. They're like, it's like a clown show over there. Look at these people. Are you kidding me? Look at this camera. What's happening at ABC News? And David Muir, we all know he's a clown too. This is too funny. Really? Really?
David, this is something
this is live, you guys. Why are they letting this happen?
Images and for him to be able to reiterate and underscore his commitment to a peaceful and smooth transition. And it was clear, I was in the room there as the pool reporter today in the Oval for that, and it really felt like both the president-elect and the president, after this big, hard-fought campaign, were really trying to bring down the temperature there. As you noted, Donald Trump mentioning, look, politics is a tough business, but they are trying to move forward. And it is interesting to hear Donald Trump there in this meeting, a ritual that he did not afford President Biden 4 years ago, but saying that he appreciates this outreach, that he appreciates moving forward for a smooth transition ahead, David.
Mary, stick with us. I'll come back to you in just a moment. John Carl, you're also watching along. I know you were
Look
there
at Trump's face, though.
President Obama extended the invitation to the president-elect Donald Trump.
And look at this doofus. Big difference.
I have to tell you, these are two moments that are
good morning, Janet. Hi, Barbara.
In the life and career of Donald Trump, two moments where he is not the person driving the conversation. He is not the person who is convening the meeting. You see, Joe Biden there welcome him. Short, gracious remarks, and short and gracious remarks from Donald Trump. Very similar to what we saw almost exactly, David, 8 years ago when Barack Obama invited Trump to come to the White House. Back then, it was just 2 days after the 2016 election. And a very similar scene at that point. Donald Trump actually said that he would be seeking counsel of President Obama as he started his administration. And I asked him a question at the time. It was the one question that was answered. I was like, "Are you
Again,
really
with
going
this
to seek
crazy
counsel
camera
from Barack Obama?" And he said, "Yes, he would." And I'll tell you, the graciousness didn't last long back then. It was another obviously bitter campaign. We'll see how long the graciousness lasts this time.
John Carl, I appreciate it. Let's get right to the Hill. Rachel Scott, a lot of news on Capitol Hill. The president-elect was there just a short time ago. Now, of course, at the White House, President Biden. That's the spray from the beginning of the meeting. I presume the meeting continues between the two, President Biden, President-elect Trump. But significant for a number of reasons at the White House. Also significant
right, Barbara.
Just a short time ago.
Exactly, David. Before that face-to-face meeting between President Biden and also President-elect Donald Trump.
Isn't this the woman who hates Trump with every fiber of her being?
Behind closed doors, and I'm told right off the bat, you had Speaker Johnson acknowledge that the coattails, in his word, were enormous. That not only having President-elect Donald Trump at the top of the ticket for Republicans got them the majority in the Senate, that they believe they're inching closer to a strong majority, although it may be small, over in the House. I am told by multiple members who were in the room that the president-elect also
what a great night that was. Never forget it. My goodness. Kisses Elisa Stefanik on the forehead. So dear.
Told me that was intended to be a joke, that several people also chuckled in that room as well. But of course, just on the other side of the chamber, you have Senate Republicans who will be electing their new majority leader right now. This is a
hey guys, well, welcome to today's Beach Report. I just basically saw that the ABC News was live with President Trump and the puppet meeting today. I think it's terrible, actually, that they give this administration any credence anymore. I think that the facts have to come out, and we all need to know what a stolen election looks like. Well, we know what it looks like, but we also have to know that that's what happened to this country. Okay, so today we are on the beautiful Fort Lauderdale Intercoastal. I'd rather look at that than David Muir's lying face. I'm sure that Trump did not sign off on a purge. That's silly. Who's spreading rumors like that? Yeah. Well, it was stolen. Real person, you don't think that the 2020 election was stolen by Biden? Not even Biden, because he's not capable of stealing things maybe anymore, but although, I don't know. Seems like quite the thief to begin with. Well, maybe real person, but what concerns me is that a lot can happen in 4 years, as we all know. And if these people are able to get back in power, they will do this to us again. I don't want them to do this to us again. I want the American people to know what really happened. I don't want to go along with the narrative, ever. Because it makes me a liar, you know? It makes me look like a dumb person for saying that the 2020 election was stolen. It was, and we know it was. I'm not living in the past. I'm living in the future when these people are going to try this again. That's what I'm concerned about. You think they're just going to give up and let's let bygones be bygones and haha, everything's fine now? I don't think I'm alone in this belief either. And look at Melania. She's not going to the White House to sit down and have tea and crumpets with Dr. Jill, who stood by and watched as her husband approved the FBI going rifling through her underwear drawer and her son's bedroom. That's disgusting. We can't just move on. We have to stop the madness that has overtaken our country over the past 8 years. And it is 8 years because all this disgusting language and calling Trump Hitler began even before he took office. So this has been going on since 2025 at least. I'm sorry, 2015 at least. And it's almost 2025. So that's 10 years of just nasty ridiculousness. It is our prerogative, BG. It certainly is. I'm allowed to feel quite angry for being called names and being told that I was wrong about things that I was right about. Well, it doesn't have to be the topic, real person. It's just that, you know, I watch President Trump making nice with the puppet, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's right. I'm not saying that President Trump is wrong for doing it. I understand. He's always tried to unite us, despite what they say, but I personally am tired of being attacked for telling the truth. What's Dunning-Kruger Yoda for? Can you give us a definition of Dunning-Kruger, please? So it's the topic because it's in the news. That's why it's the topic. That's all. That's all. We're all supposed to just go move on and get along with it. Meanwhile, you know, how do these people square with Hitler being in the White House? That's what they think. You know, why is everything fine now? They called him Hitler. But now everything's fine and let's just let bygones be bygones, right? Really? I'm glad, Holly. I know Ireland loves Trump. I've had a lot of Irish people come on my show. Anyway, welcome everybody to today's Beach Report. We are in Fort Lauderdale and we are currently looking over the Fort Lauderdale Intracoastal Waterway. Real person, you definitely are right about that. Most Americans do believe what I do. Now they do. Finally, they do. And I was shocked in 2020 when they also believed it then and were told that they were wrong. And were told that if they even questioned whether or not that election was stolen, to sit down and shut up. And some very good people are in jail right now. You know, that's another thing I can't square with. Set the J6 political prisoners free. Some of them have died because of the treatment they've received in jail. And it's just wrong. And it hasn't stopped. It's still happening. And I care about it. You shouldn't watch the news. You should never watch the news. But you should know what's going on. You won't find out what's going on by watching the news. But you will find out what's going on by talking to people. And also, the Beach Report will help you to know what's going on if you don't want to watch the news. Because I, unfortunately, have to be with my ear to the ground on everything. But they're still calling him Hitler? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, exactly, Mitt. It's a problem that they still haven't called elections. The longer that goes on, the more they're cheating. It's very clear and obvious. I'm just so thrilled that this election was what we had wanted and that it was too big to rig. And that was the goal, and that was the purpose, and that showed us exactly what Americans think about this country and Donald Trump. Everybody sees what's going on. And those who don't see what's going on, what's wrong with you? Are you a criminal? Are you obtuse? Are you like too prideful to admit that you were wrong? Like, what is up with that? Oh, I agree. The Secretary of State should be in prison right along with all the rest of them. I think everybody who is in the the DNC should be in prison or at least be questioned within an inch of their lives. I think liars like, Liz Cheney, that woman should be in prison. Caitlin Collins, bye-bye. Yeah, let's go, Brandon, indeed. Don't worry, Lord. I know exactly what's going on. I have been a Trump supporter ever since even the Apprentice. I loved The Apprentice. I used to live in New York City, actually, when he was getting divorced from Ivana, and those were crazy days. I didn't really know what to think of him back then, but the more that I watched him in the news and on TV shows and in interviews, the more I wished that he would become president. I always hoped that he would do it. And the day that he walked down the escalator, oh my gosh, I was actually walking down my basement steps in Pittsburgh at the time, and I literally, I didn't fall down the steps, but I kind of slid down them. I collapsed. I was so happy. I was crying. I was just with relief that somebody was gonna finally save my beautiful country that is being destroyed in front of my eyes by this diversity, equity, and inclusion. These people who think that everybody deserves a chance regardless of what they've done in this world or their merit. Yeah, get on board that MAGA train. Yeah, Trump's going to be very strategic this time. Thank you, Dave. So something I also wanted to talk about today is the fact that Facebook is in the bag for Democrats. And I have been on Facebook since 2015, since I published my first book, like it was yesterday, A Journalist's File Since 9/11. That's why I went on Facebook, actually. Well, actually, the reason I went on Facebook was because my biological family, and that's chronicled in my new book that I've just published, Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? Anyway, they wanted me to be on Facebook so that I could communicate with them, and I didn't like Facebook and I didn't want to be on it, but they assured me that it would just be between us and them, and nobody else needed to know that I was on Facebook. So for a while I did that, and it was kind of weird to watch I watched the questioning of all of these scoundrels, real person, I watched Senator Kennedy. If I ever meet that man, I'm gonna give him the biggest hug. And Josh Hawley, what a no-nonsense dude. No nonsense. And you're right, everybody should watch the questioning of the Secretary of State. Yeah, Marvin, I can't wait for them to get rid of all these criminals who broke into our country and tried to vote against our interests. And the Democrats gave them everything. And what do you guys think about Kamala raising $1 billion and now being, what, $20 million in debt? Wow, and she was going to be the president and handle our economy. There goes the famous Fort Lauderdale water taxi. Let's see if they'll wave to us. You're on the beach report. You're on the beach report. Hi, guys. Yep, they're waving. Famous water taxi. If you're ever in Fort Lauderdale, take the water taxi. It is worth every penny. Thank you, Dave. I've always said the truth. That's why I can't be on Facebook anymore. Even though they claim it was adult sexual exploitation. Sure it was. That's what I did. Yeah. That's why I can't be on Facebook anymore, because you know me. You know me and my adult sexual exploitation. Nope, they just want to silence people like me. And you know what? Go on Facebook now. It's an echo chamber for liberals. That's what it's becoming. And if that's what you want, you go and you have fun there. Yeah, exactly, Dave. Kamala showed us how she would handle our economy. You give the woman $1 billion, and she's 20 in the hole, and she's paid off all the celebrities, right? Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. I did see President Biden wearing the Trump hat. It was amazeballs. Yeah, why is President Biden still president? Why is that? I kind of don't believe it. I think that actually President Trump is in charge. Doesn't it feel like he's in charge already? It really does to me. It's a whole dawn of a new day in America, and I'm not afraid to speak the truth. Not that I ever was afraid. It's just that they keep trying to shut me up, but they can't shut me up because I got a really big mouth. And I like to run it regularly. Yeah, right. Definitely. No one can help it when they're sexy. Barbara. Oh, I love you guys. Anyway, Alex Jones is press secretary. I love it. That would be brilliant. Brilliant. And I want to see Dan Bongino as head of the Secret Service. 100% How beautiful would that be? And I want him to get down to brass tacks as to who was responsible for President Trump being shot. Because there is someone responsible. It might not only be one person, it might be a group of people, but they are responsible. And they need to be called out. Trump raised less than $400 million, and he still has $10 million left. Exactly. Who do you want to run your economy? The woman who inherited $1 billion? Don't forget, she didn't even raise that money. I mean, maybe like when she had her little bump in society and went up in the polls and all that stuff, just for being her. She's done a lot just for being her, huh? That's a special person who gets everything she wants just for being who she is and no merit whatsoever. It's amazeballs, isn't it? It's amazeballs. They do eat the dogs. They do. Everyone knows Haitians eat dogs and cats, so do Chinese people. It's a fact. It's not a lie. It's not a racial discrimination thing to say. It's something that really, truly does happen. No lies here. All right, so I saw Barbara asking about Muffin. Thank you. Muffin had a really good night. And I am currently playing like Twister with dog meds, literally. She's got 4 or 5 different meds One of them has to be given on an empty stomach without any food or other medication given within 1 to 2 hours. So there's that lovely med. And that's got to happen 3 times a day. What? And then I have like this other medication, and Muffin doesn't like to take pills. Spoiler alert. Muffin doesn't like to take pills, so I have to try to get her to eat pills and food. And even then, she detects the pill and spits it out. And I found a pill the other day that she'd maybe hidden in her little mouth. And it's just really difficult. That's a nice yacht. Wow. Look at that. 4, 5, 6 levels? 5 levels? On a ride on that. Anyway, yes, they're still asking for donations, but didn't she concede? How does that work? I love the wind blowing in my hair, right? No, you're doing it wrong. Anyway, so I'm starting to, tell everybody about the beach report because I know I'm getting a lot of new followers, and I have exciting news today that I've reached more than 300,000 views on YouTube. So I'm super excited about that. I definitely feel like I'm allowed to speak freely now, especially that President Trump is back in office. People like me can speak our minds, and some rules though, if you come on the beach report and you don't like the things that I have to say, that's okay. You can scroll by and go somewhere else, but if you decide to stop and say something super nasty to me, you have to know that that will not be tolerated on the beach report. I will block you. So just saying how it works. Anyway, 20 million, Tamara, 20 million. That's a lot of money. What could you do with $20 million? It's crazy, right? Oh my gosh. Real person, President Trump doesn't need a teleprompter, and neither do I. Although, here's a fun fact about yours truly. I actually used to be a professional teleprompter. I did. I used to work in New York City in the television industry, and I worked on a bunch of shows. One of them, just off the top of my head, that you might remember was called NBA's Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad and Felicia. I never remember her last name. Anyway, I was the teleprompter for that show, and that was super fun. I got to learn a lot about basketball, which I still don't know anything about. But anyway, I was actually a teleprompter. And the first time I ever did the teleprompter, worked the teleprompter as a PA, that's a production assistant, working at National Video, which I don't think even exists anymore, but it was on 42nd Street in Broadway. That was so cool to work on 42nd Street. So anyway, I was a teleprompter. First day that I worked at National. And you might remember National Video just from the movie Tootsie. If you go back and look at the movie Tootsie, because that was National Video. And I was in the control room, and those control rooms were super plush and comfortable. And there was always candy around, and it was dark and just lovely in there. I loved it. Anyway, the first time I ever worked, I think it was a commercial, and I was the teleprompter for the commercial. So here's me sitting in this control room by myself because everybody else was on the set, and there was like a big stage, a big set in front of the control room. So everyone was there, including the director, and I was the only one in the control room. And I'm looking at I had like 3 or 4 cameras, so I saw the different shots, and then I had my teleprompter, which is like a TV, which was a TV with the words on it. And I had this joystick that I would control the words to make them go fast or slow, up or down, try to figure out how fast the person could talk. So I'm in this room by myself, all comfy, cozy, and so I have a little bit of a problem. When I read and when I watch television, I fall asleep. I don't even watch television anymore, but when I do, I fall asleep. When I read, I fall asleep. So can you imagine having a job where I have to read and watch television at the same time, and sit in this plushy, comfortable room? Oh my gosh, it was the kiss of death. I didn't last long in that job, needless to say. I actually got fired from NBA's Inside Stuff, true story, because I fell asleep while working the prompter, and they found out. And then they had to hire me again though, because that director was super hard on everybody, and there was nowhere to go because I was still a PA there, so they still had to hire me back. And the second time I actually fell asleep again. But I blamed it on my nail. I said my nail got stuck in it, and they believed me, and I laughed. Everybody thought it was funny at that point. Anyway, when they talk about teleprompters, I got real-time experience with teleprompters. Linda wants to know about President Trump wanting to eliminate the Federal Department of Education. Woo woo! I wholly agree with that decision. I hope he does it. I think it's a great idea because the Federal Department of Education is a bad system, and it doesn't take into account that people are different throughout our country. You know, the people who live in California are way different from the people who live, let's say, in a small town in West Virginia. You know, and they should not be educated the same, and they should have their local lifestyles or whatever, their histories and everything. I don't think that education should ever be federal. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I hope he does, and I hope he gets rid of those people who have started to tell our nation's children that God made a mistake and didn't know what sex they were when they were born. I mean, really? Is that really a thing? How is that a thing? It doesn't seem right, does it? Hey, I'm looking, 172 people watching and only 7 people smash my like button. Can you help a girl out? I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, yeah, who did start that federal education? It might have been Carter. I don't know. Is he still alive? Did he die yet? Was it his wife who died? I don't remember. Anyway. Falling asleep driving, yes, that is a problem for me, and I have to be very careful when I drive, and I have to be super alert. Oh, I think I hear my princesses calling me. Woof, woof, woof. I'm gonna go attend to her now because she's probably hungry, and I can do my dog meds twister game with her. Oh, it's really difficult, but I'll do anything to keep this little Shih Tzu alive. 16 years, we're still going. All right, you guys, I'm glad I made your day better. Thank you, Dave. And thank you, the rest of you, for tuning in to the Beach Report. Please watch all my videos. I'm making reels again, which I loved to make reels when I was on Facebook. It was so much fun for me, but I had to stop because, you know, they stopped paying me. So now I'm getting paid again. So I'll be making lots of amazing reels. Oh, it's getting super windy out here. All right, you guys. Ciao for now. Have a wonderful rest of your day.